remind me, a year from now, though, as we get to the end of our timeline, this whole thing starts over again, because what we're seeing take place in the individual market begins in the employer market.
Exactly.
Because the employer mandate begins of October next year.
Exactly. Effectively, the employer mandate goes into effect January 1 of 2015 after the president has delayed it, but it relies on the previous 3 months of data, which means effectively October 1, a month out from Election Day, you're going to see all the kind of churn that we saw before, where people are cutting back on hours, they're cutting back on policies, they're going to bare bones policies so they meet the bare minimum, and we're going to go through all of this rigmarole again.
Okay, well, one last question I have to ask this, because if we're looking at a year, over the next year, high-risk pools, subsidies going up, cost projections out the window. There's no way that President Obama and Democrats sit back on their heels and play defense over this program. What do they do? How do they play offense? How do they propose to fix this?
You know the answer to this, Will. It's Medicare for all. That's really been the answer that they've hoped for all along.
It's basically single payer.
Exactly.
That's a way of saying single payer without saying it. It's a way of nationalizing the healthcare
this is a big mess. The only way we can clear it up is with the one program that's super popular, we all know works, and that's Medicare for all.
Do you really think you're going to see a cohesive argument for Medicare for all within the year?
No, I don't think so, only because I think this thing is so much of a mess. It's so difficult to predict what's going to come. But I don't think that they're even going to be able to coalesce around that idea, because I think at this point they're just so they're blindsided by how bad this is going.
And we're still just talking about the insurance. We're not talking about actual health care.
Right.
What happens when you start to see the quality of your health care, doctor-to-patient relationships diminish? When doctors start exiting this program left and right? It's already starting in New York City. They just did a survey. 44% of doctors would rather retire than participate in the Obamacare program.
The product is good, Tara. We have nothing to worry about. The product is good.
Your point, Tara, is well taken. What we're seeing is beyond the dream. We're seeing the actual aspects of implementing the reorganization of 1/5 of the economy and how incredibly difficult, perhaps impossible, that is.
That's right.